One tree down, two tree down. Right, we've got another couple of trees down near the dam. Seems to be a bit of a theme going on here. The last few years we've had a few trees down in this area. We've got the cat down, the new chainsaw out, and we shall get these logs cut up and moved out of the way. So hi, welcome back to the Rural Project. So as you've just seen, I'm down at the bottom of the dam access road here. We've got the cat behind me, and we've got two big trees down. So today we're going to get the MS661 out, give it its maiden run, and get into some of these trees. Right, let's get the PPE on, and let's make a start into this. Ooh, new toy on the Rural Project. So this is the Stihl MS661C. So the Triptronic. So I do have the 462 and a 362. So this obviously replaces the MS660 from Pharmatech that I've been using for a long time and having an awful lot of hassle with. I've given one tiny little cut with it, but today is the proper test. So the way I'm going to tackle this is working my way through all these branches that are on the ground, taking them off that tree, so limbing the tree, just being left with the trunk. We'll get all those branches sort of pushed out of the way, and then we'll break this trunk down into some manageable pieces that the cat can pick up, and we'll drop those over the edge into the area that's below the dam wall, and then I'll be able to pick those up in the future. Let's get that MS661C from Stihl into a bit of wood action. Okay, we have cleared this area, so 661, the perfect tool for limbing. That's a joke, by the way. Yeah, it's obviously we got all the limbs knocked off that tree, all the small branches put into a pile here. So what I'm going to do now, we'll start getting the 661 into what it's used to. So we'll start breaking down some of these branches, travelling pretty careful because I'm sure there's a few with a bit of tension still in them. What I think I'll do is I'll start right up at the root ball, just up here. I'll cut through the trunk there, and then hopefully we'll be able to manipulate this log and all of its branches, manipulate that around, and grab it with the excavator, and we'll start getting this thing cut up into nice manageable lengths. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to actually cut through this trunk, but I'd love to be cutting up there because there's plenty of good wood. With a brand new chain, a brand new saw, I am not dropping that in the dirt. And as you can see, there's a lot of mud on there. So I'm going to cut this here, and I'll come back another time with an old chain, and we'll knock a few extra sections off in the future. I certainly don't want to get the new chain into any dirt. Keep it as new as possible for as long as possible. Right, let's get this started. so far it looks pretty solid. That right. Let's get back down the hill, get the excavator fired up, and get this thing dragged down, and let's start cutting it into pieces. Okay, so this is the tree. You see, it was alive, so we don't have any rot in here. It's a stringy bark. You can see with all the different flecks of sap that's in there. Sometimes these trees, when you cut into a big pocket like that, big pocket like this one, or maybe even that, they actually bleed. It's red sap and it comes out. Sometimes it pours out like it's bleeding. You see, there's plenty of rounds in there. There's at least 2, 4, at least 6 rounds in there, and I'll be damaging chains cutting through all that mud. Right, we'll get all that moved out of the way, and I get on to tree number 2. Excuse the rain on the lens there. So the plan now is to grab each of those logs. So we're going to walk them over here. Somehow we're going to drop them over the edge. Idea being, if I can get them in down into this area, I'll do the same as I have been doing, up and down the gully with the excavator, and I'll pick them and walk them to the far end. Right, let's stick you guys on time lapse while we get all this area cleared. While I've got the 661 here, I'll actually cut through this wood, but obviously I won't get down into any of the dirt. I'll just cut through, or halfway or more than halfway. one. Now it's onto tree number 2. So we've got a fair few limbs that need to come off this, and then it's a pretty straight trunk after those limbs are off. A nice perfect firewood. Again, it's stringy bark this, so easy cutting, easy splitting, burns nice. Not the best wood in the world, but to be honest, we burn a lot of it and I'm really happy with it. Right, let's get the 661 into these, get all these limbs off, get all the limbs down the hill, and then we'll work out how we drag the whole trunk down the hill into the processing area. Not sure if you can see it on the camera, but it's raining here now. It's not too heavy, but we'll see how it goes. If it gets much harder, I'll be having to pack up and go into the shed for a little while. But let's see how we go. It certainly feels like it's getting heavier, and there's a fair bit of breeze though, so fingers crossed it'll blow away quickly. Let's grab a few of these and walk them down the hill. I think I'm going to end up having to go get some chains to drag the main trunk down. Look at this tree, so resilient. So it fell over. This is one of the branches. It knows it's in trouble. So on the side of the tree that's pointing up to the sky, starts putting out some of these suckers, trying to make sure it's going to survive. Pretty tough, these Aussie trees. They flourish when they get burnt by fire, and when they get downed or they fall over, start sticking out all sorts of side suckers so they can stay alive. Okay, what I'm going to do now is we'll cut through the butt of this log. There is a gap underneath, so fingers crossed I'm hoping I can get through there without touching the dirt. But yeah, let's get this cut. I'll stand on that side, so if there is any movement, at least I don't get run over. And yeah, we'll see how we go. And as you can see, the sun is out. Just wait 10-15 minutes and the weather clears. Great stuff. Right, let's get into this. Good job, I did move out of the way, eh? That thing would have been rolling on top of me. Whew, I'm steaming now. It's the sun coming out and obviously all the damp on the ground. Extremely humid. Right, but it's still very cold. Very weird. Right, let's decide what to do next. Right, I think I need to head down to the top of Slippery Hill, grab hold of some chains and see if I can get some chains down here and some straps to drag this thing down the hill. Okay, so a little change of plan. So I was having a look and thinking, right, I'll bring the chipper down here as well at some point, and all these branches we've brought down, we'll put them through the chipper. And I got to thinking, I've got some big burn piles that need to be burned. Putting this stuff through the chipper will be at least 3 hours of work. So I thought, right, actually I'll grab all of this stuff and I'll throw it over the edge So all the branches will go over the edge of the dam. And then when I go down the other side to grab some of the big logs, I'll just pick up all that rubbish and put it on top of the burn pile. So hopefully that'll save me quite a lot of work. So let's go grab a hold of what's left of the branches and get them thrown over the side. Okay, it is now time to take down this big old dead tree. So there's not a lot left of it. So I think it's a yellow box. It's difficult to tell though from what's left of it, but just looking at what's left of the bark, and I think that's what it is. An old tree like this not so long ago give the 462 a little bit of a crunch, so I will be going extremely careful with the new 661. The 661 should eat through this. The 25-inch bar in it, I'm also going to have to cut from both sides, and I'm hoping we can get it to fall immediately away from the camera, straight down the gully. There's a little bit of a lean off to the right, but I think we can get that to go down the hill. Right, let's get that chainsaw warmed up and get into this. starting to go. Hopefully you can hear on camera there's a bit of creaking and groaning. And we're doubling up here, so we're doubling up on the wedges here. Come on. It's creaking. Come on. He is absolutely creaking and cracking. Can't believe it's still standing after all that noise. But I've left a really big hinge on it. Want any of those branches falling on me. It's the downside of having to pound in wedges. Oh shit. That thing's moving backwards and forwards. I think I'm going to go get a couple more wedges so I can do a stack of 3. I need to push that over. Okay, hopefully a stack of 3 will get this pushed over now. Well, I hope the noise of that came over loud and clear on the camera. Right, well, as you can see, it's what I was suspecting. There's a huge amount of rot in the middle, because I kind of suspected that once I cut this side piece off and realised there was a hole all the way through. That was one of the reasons for leaving a big hinge. You see all the little termites now just running around like crazy. So leaving a massive hinge in there. And yeah, doing a lot of pounding with the wedges. Didn't really trust that it would have the stability if I did a much shorter hinge and much thinner. So I put a fair bit of hinge in there, and she came down like a trooper, didn't she? A long way to fall, all the way down the hill. I just should have shattered in half once she got down onto the bottom there. Right. What I'm going to do, I'm going to tidy this up, and then I'm off for a drink to calm the nerves. Just a cup of tea, and then we're back down here and we'll look at doing a little bit more tidy up. Okay, and when the top is knocked off, you see just how much termite damage there is. And this is quite a dry tree. I'm surprised there's termites. It looks so dry in there. Sure, we can go all the way down into the roots. The termites are just starting to come out now. Try and investigate what the heck's happened and what's going on. Once I move away from here, this place will have heaps of birds coming over. And all these little termites will be a nice lunchtime snack. And now it's time to drag that log down the hill, so I've put a couple of straps on there and a chain. We'll get the excavator fired up, grab a hold of that chain, so we'll drag it down the hill, grab a hold of it with the jaws of the excavator and throw it over the edge here into the rest of the pile of wood. that's it for today. As you can see, I've got I think 3 or 4 stumps that I've got to take up the hill with the excavator. Above the excavator there, obviously all those trees are gone. Stumps have come out from here. So the trees were laid down in this area and right across the middle here. So they're all gone. Cut up all the branches, all the good stuff. Thrown over the side here for a future job. Just to grab all of that and put it into the burn pile over there. So we've had everything in today's video. So a lot of log dragging, the MS661 C from Stihl, put that to use. We dropped that big tree, which is now down at the on the ground there. As I say, we dragged all the logs over. This whole area now is a heck of a lot tidier than it was. I can use it again. Happy with this. So thank you very much for watching. All the different actions got to be worth a thumbs up, so don't forget, give it a thumbs up. Don't cost you anything but means a lot to me, and I will see you next time on The Rural Project.